Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen, wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Okay, this part here, after welcoming you back to the channel, my name is Abu Idris, and this is Hijrah tips and advice for you. Those of you who have went for Hijrah, Alhamdulillah, Jazakallah khair, Barakallahu feek, Mabruk, congratulations. Those of you who are planning, let's think this thing through smart, okay? One of the things you want to do, no matter whether you've left or you've already been there, if you're an amateur and a beginner, a newbie, or you're a veteran muhajir, make photocopies of every piece of identification and cards that you own, front and back color if you can. This is vital because things happen. Wallets get lost, stolen, washed in the washing machine. Cards get brittle, they get broken. You can't read the chip. Your passport, if your passport is bent to the point where, or physically altered to the point where it can't be scanned, and we know there's an RFID chip in the passport, so let's not play around with that. We already know what's there. We know that you use that to kind of track us and who and okay. So we got that out, right? That's the elephant in the room, right? We already know. But if they can't read that chip, then you're gonna have a problem. If you lost the passport and you don't have any identity on you, somebody stole your stuff, or Allah forbid, somebody stole all your stuff, all your kids' stuff, you have no way of proving that you are who you say you are. All you got is your phone. Okay, that's a good start. Take a picture, front and back. So what are the things you want to take pictures of? You want to take pictures, of course, of your passport. You want to take a picture of the cover page. I mean, the outside cover that shows your nationality. You want to take a picture of the picture page that has all of your information. Yeah, that's pretty much it. So the front of the passport, and what you will do is the passport is like that. So you want to open it up like that, and then just take a picture of that whole front and back outside cover. And then you want to open it up to the first page and take a picture of that. Okay. Make sure there's no gloss and no glare, because a lot of these pictures have those holographic type print, right, material that they use, and it creates a shine or a gloss. And if they can't see through that gloss, we can't with 100% certainty verify your identity. And this is also why you want to do a picture like that in color, because the flash on a black and white is a white spot or a dark spot on your face. And I didn't know that the first time when I went to Kuwait. And I always had a hard time trying to show a copy of my passport or even take a picture, a photocopy of my passport, because it'll always come out super dark. So I'm already dark skinned anyway. All right. And now the whole photo is dark and you can barely see my face and make me out, and I'm like, listen, and I have to always explain this. It's me. It's just a darker thing. But if I get in some official capacity like that, where they really need to verify me 100%, I'm going to have a hard time. So make sure you take a good picture, not too bright. Don't do any touch-ups to it and all that stuff. Just have a good photocopy. I would say take one with your phone, and then I would take another one. I would go to like a copier store and get a photocopy, at least two copies of every piece of information you have, even your old IDs from your country. Okay, even if it's expired, it's okay. It still got your face on it. It still has your name on it, your date of birth. It still has information that can identify you. So if you ever have to go to an embassy or something like that and say, hey, I lost my passport got stolen, or whatever, I need to renew my passport, but I can't find it, or whatever the case may be. Okay, do you have anything establishing your identity? Your social security number, social insurance number is not going to cut it, because if somebody can memorize that, that doesn't prove your identity. It proves you know a number. But if I can say, here's a copy of my old passport with my name on it, everything else. Here's my wife's passport. Here's my kids' passports. They're copies. Okay, good. We got something that we can work on. Okay, and then they may ask you some other information to establish your identity or like that, and then they can get you some new documentation. Okay, expired driver's license or old driver's license. If you are a merchant seaman, they give you what they call a Z card. Now, I had a Z card before, and it wasn't really good for establishing identity in an official capacity, but it was something. It was something as opposed to nothing. Don't throw your old identification cards in the garbage. Don't cut them up and throw them away, because you might need them one day to establish your identity. Okay? Make photocopies of everything. If you're married, this is really critical, especially in Saudi Arabia, because in Saudi Arabia and in other countries that are very, very conservative, as they say, or religious, you can't just walk inside of a hotel with your woman, with your wife, and say, I want a room. Okay, first of all, who is this with you? So some places, I have not experienced this personally, but in some places, I have heard that they'll ask you for your marriage document. I'm like, who carries around a marriage certificate in their pocket? But it happens sometimes. Okay, I've heard cases where people come to the checkpoint. He got a girl in the car, and when they're like, okay, who is this? This is my wife, or this is my sister, whoever. This is my wife. Okay, you got marriage document, you got some kind of documentation that shows that you guys are married. So when I was in Saudi Arabia, I kept all that stuff in my glove compartment. I kept a copy of everything. I actually kept 2 copies. So I kept 2 copies of my marriage certificate, front and back, in color. In color. Some places, depending on the place that you go to, the stationery store you go to, they can minimize that that document, and they can kind of make it like a card size, right? And then they can laminate. You can have it laminated. So that way you don't have to carry around a paper photocopy. You've got an actual card that they can read, and it's legible and it's clear and like that. Keep all of your old documentation. Keep all of make photocopies of everything, front and back. Also, your driver's license, and I forgot what else. But there's another document. Will have your blood type on it, and that's important as well, because if you get in an accident and you need some kind of transfusion or something, no one knows your blood type. And that could be the difference between living and dying, because they have to go run your blood type to find out what blood type that you have. Meanwhile, maybe dying or somehow lost. You on the table and you need blood. Okay, first we got to find out what kind of blood he has. But if people are looking, if you got that information, they say, okay, based on what we find, he has O positive blood. Okay, we're good to go. For all of your children, you should always know all of your children and your wives and your husband's blood types. You should know it. You should know it. You should write it down somewhere, keep it in a book or something, but you should know that kind of stuff. So again, copies of your documentation, front and back, copies of your marriage certificate. If you've been divorced, if you ever get divorced, make a copy of your divorce certificate, because you have to prove that you were divorced. Because in some places, they'll ask you, are you married? You say no. Or if they say, have you ever been married? And you say, yes, I have. Okay, well, where's the divorce document? Because you can't marry somebody that's already married, right? A woman, a man can't marry a woman who's already married. So if she's been divorced, she has to be able to prove that she's actually been divorced by way of that divorce document. Front and back covers, you guys. Front and back on every single document, in color, nice, clear, crisp copy. Keep a copy in the house with you, right? In the safe place that you keep all your documentation. Make pictures on your mobile and keep them in a secure file. You can make locked files on your cell phone. There's a way that you can do it, whether it's Android or it's your iPhone. Okay, maybe even back up a copy to your Google Drive. Put these documents in every kind of place, so just in case you can't access one area, you can access the next. You might drop your phone in the water. Happened to me in Sri Lanka. Dropped the phone in the ocean, didn't even know it. Out there for 5-6 hours playing in the water, having a ball. I'm like, man, I haven't gotten a phone call. I haven't checked my messages. Phone was in my pocket the whole time. The whole time. It was beyond, I didn't even get mad. Because, what am I going to do? It's been 4 hours. There's no saving this thing. I'm not going to even trip. You know what I mean? So now that cell phone's gone, right? And my information, but I always keep a backup for my information. Okay? So you never know where you're going to be when you need that information. Okay, very, very important. So copies of your documents, back them up. If you have pictures of your children, periodically, I would say every 6 months to a year, take another snapshot of your picture of your kids, because our kids are growing, and so their facial features change. Ahmed was 12 when you guys left. You know what I mean? He's 14 now. He's got a little stubble on his face now. Fatima, she was a little chubby, little something, when she was 8. Now she's 10, 11 years old. She's thinning out now. Her face looks different. It looks different. You could tell she's kind of growing up. All that little baby weight, that baby fat is gone. Maybe even your wife. Your wife, from time to time, she's going to have kids. She's going to get that baby weight off of her. Her face looks different. Your face looks different. Your beard may not have been this big when you left. You had a little starter kit going on. You know what I'm saying? And now, you've been out there for a while. You're doing this booth. You take care of it. Your appearance is different. This can cause you problems in an airport with customs. It can. I'm not saying it will, and I don't want you to get paranoid. We have the tawakkul in Allah. But sometimes those things can present a problem. So if you've got documentation to back things up, current information. Well, somehow long, Lord forbid your children ever go missing. Worst case scenario, you got a picture of what they look like. So everybody can be on the lookout. Maybe they just went wandering off like our kids do sometimes, you know, in the mall, because they saw something, we walking and talking and not paying attention, you know what I mean? And our kids are in the store looking at some Snickers, candy bars or something, and they thought you were with them, and they look up and you gone. This is my son, this is what he looks like. Oh, he's right over there. Tell him to go to the customer service desk, you know, and like that. So please make sure, document. That's it, you guys. If you got any benefit from the channel, please make sure that you like and subscribe.